What used to take 2 weeks, personalizing 100 emails, can now be done in minutes. We're building AI tools to empower marketing teams, not just to automate, but to personalize at scale. It's not just about developers using AI anymore. Non technical teams like marketing and sales are now at the center of this revolution. Agent AI is not just automation, it adapts, it learns, it thinks ahead like your most trusted teammate. Speed is the essence now. You either scale or fall behind. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in whichever time zone. Thank you for joining this call today, and thank you for learning about what we are going to share today related to no code AI, specifically in the marketing area. So, I want to give a quick introduction about myself. I'm in Bay Area, San Francisco, and I've been in industry for 16 plus years. I've been worked in various different roles across my career. Started as a master's student, learned a lot, and then kind of moved into different verticals. Currently, I worked for Cisco, Zoom, and other supply chain startups, and then currently I'm actually working for GitHub. And along with doing a lot of product management effort, one of the things that we are working in GitHub as a company is to create efficiency and accelerate AI usage across different teams. And those teams which are primary important is marketing and sales team. And the idea is that it is just not GitHub that is shifting towards that kind of strategy. You would see a lot of FAANG companies focusing on how do we drive internal efficiency of different teams. And that is where AI comes in picture. And that is why it's just not about developers using AI, but it's about empowering non-technical teams specifically to use AI and to use AI in a way that they can actually make their work more efficient. So this is increasingly, I saw this year, it was a big increase into pushing everybody forward towards usage AI. I never saw that shift so much, especially for the non-technical teams. And there are many platforms or different companies that are doing that already and having great success. So that's kind of where I'm also focusing. One of the initiative I'm leading in GitHub is to come up with new AI tools to enable AI tools for marketing teams so they can, as Swapnil was saying, our internal goal is also to increase our efficiency by 10x, which is what we are also focusing on. Along with this, I'm also active member of Soka Gakkai Buddhist community, and we engage in initiative towards creating world peace. So this is something I use it in my daily life to bring a lot of mindfulness, compassion, and focus on mentoring early career professionals who are looking for career change, just because I went through this experience of a lot of career change. And I'm a proud learner of IK. I actually have taken a product management course when they initially started, and I learned a lot being in IK community. So this is my way to repay all what I've learned to the company, which is absolutely doing great. So that's a quick introduction about myself. And we have a power packed agenda. I know we kind of wanted to do a poll to understand your thoughts also about AI. We will now, going forward, focus on really going a little bit deeper into the marketing challenges and use cases. And then we will show you how you can use agentic AI, which is probably right now the most popular word you might be hearing all over the industry. Post Gen AI, agentic AI is everywhere. But we will be giving an introduction to agentic AI, and we will cover a use case that is a very common use case that you can actually start using it from today onwards, and we will demo that, and then we will come up with more information about how you can access these resources and Q&A. So let me dive into quickly about where our current market is and where things are moving forward. And I'm sure it's just not me or Swapnil or Abhinav, but also based on the poll that we got to understand that you all are very much well aware of how our current market is changing in terms of AI. Right from Nadella from Microsoft talking about AI is defining technology of our times, to Sundar from Google mentioning that AI will touch every sector, every industry. And this is also something I'm experiencing firsthand about how this shift is happening, where it is not about only developers can use AI or can be part of the AI shift, but it is actually how we can make it more useful to the non-tech teams, which are sales, marketing, revenue operations team, finance operation teams, even finance team, which have not even like touched that area at all. How by this using different no code tools, they are able to create a better workflow for their pain points. And these pain points are just not about leveraging AI to make it look good, but it is so that we can create efficiency across different processes. And more than efficiency, we can make it personalized to the audience or users that we are working with. And it's just not about like doing an automation. This agentic AI life, what we are going through right now, it's just not about, hey, I automate things and I make my things a little bit faster, but then it's adding another layer of creating a personalization where agentic AI just cannot be only used to make things faster for you, but it has its own adaptive technology that can make things better for you. So it is like your own AI assistant that you don't have to direct every time what to do next, but it can understand the next step and help you. So that is what is the core or the hype about agentic AI, which is making things a lot more better. But before even we look into the AI world, maybe we can go back and focus on what are the core challenges currently the modern marketers or the marketing teams are going through. So definitely like number one is the data overload. There are endless analytics and dashboards that marketing team deals with, and they are at different level in the process of marketing. So this is where it is too much of data, and then it is not very easy to use that data efficiently, effectively to make decisions when you need it. Also, now because the audience or the users have become so diverse, it is not about I can send one message about, hey, this is what my company is, and then everybody gets attracted to. So, with diverse audience, with different geographies, with different interests, it has become very I wouldn't say like important, it's actually become very necessary that if you want to get your product towards even usage or even getting a response back from your users, you have to make it more compelling. And it just cannot be about one message fits all. Now, the third thing that adds a lot more pressure with these two things is the time constraint, right? So there was a time when things could have been done manually, or you couldn't have done some simple automation work and things would have worked, probably just having Google emails and sending them across. But now, if you have to deal with different audience, different geographies, and create that customization so that you can tailor to a particular user, which is where you would get leads, you have your own time constraint too. So it's now become all about timing, and speed is the essence in sales and marketing. And you actually like either you add more people in the team to get that work, which is also becoming very expensive, or you add more hours to create that personalization. So these are like real life challenges that I have experienced myself, and we have compromised somewhere in the process just so that we can keep going. This is where I think where AI can help much more than we even think it can. This is probably a hypothetical problem, but I think this is a problem which every market team needs to go through, because once the product is launched or a new feature is launched, the next step is, okay, how do I get new customers? How do I reach out to new geographies, new areas, and how do I develop interest? So what we have done is we created a kind of a simple use case for us to solve, where we have a list of lot of companies that we would want to target. And I'm sure that in real life too, generally we have that raw data of targeted companies that you would want to go for and reach out to them working with your sales organization. And we create a pipeline and we see, okay, this audience looks like my targeted audience. And then you want to reach out to them through email. In this case, what the challenge is that if you have diverse audience and you are reaching out to different geographies across the world, which is where when you're global, or if you're not global and you're a startup and you want to reach out to different companies just in North America or US, but they are different types of companies. That means they are healthcare, they are retail,
They are small business companies, they are B2B companies, B2C companies, right? So a standard email for a B2B and B2C company might not actually give you any result back. And also, if you want to draft, for example, a personalized email for these different companies, you would need to go to their website, you need to learn about this company does, and then come up with a personalized message that you can send it to them. And this is generally like a very manual process. I would say, like, how much time do you think it would take you to draft one email with your experience? If people just want to put a chat, that if you don't have any tool and you're just kind of want to target B2B or B2C kind of company, and you want to go to their website, you want to go to their LinkedIn profile and create a personalized message, what do you think how much time did one email would take you to draft? Yeah, and imagine if you're 100 emails, then 100 hours are just like figuring out the catchy things for this user to respond. And 100 hours is time gone. That means somebody is putting maybe 2 weeks, 40 plus if you're working 8 hours a week, 40 hours, sorry, 8 hours a day, then 40 hours a week. And if you keep it 80 hours, if you're very, very efficient, finishing this 100 emails, personalizing this 100 emails can take around 2 weeks. And if you're really, really very efficient, it might take 1.5 weeks. But it is that much amount. And that is a very big problem if you want to scale your company, or at least create the first level of interest, right? So, what we are going to solve today is how you can do that in minutes instead of reducing your time to 2 weeks to I would say seconds, but I would say minutes are probably better. But how can you reduce that time frame? And that is what we will learn through with today's model. So let me go back and see how we're gonna build this together. So basically, what we are trying to build, our goal is to build a personalized email assistant. So for that, we would have a list of companies, which is kind of our data, and we will have the list of companies. We'll also have the website links for that company. So we prepare a raw data which will have the industry name, industry website details, and then we would want this agentic AI, which is what this agentic AI would do. It will think, it will look at your data, and based on your data and the website, it will come up with those personalized emails, and it'll come up with a catchy subject line or great personalized email, and then it will also send the email. So you don't have to do anything. If you have the right data, and the right data is the name of the company, the website of the company, and the email that you would want this particular personalized email to go, then with all these three information, agentic AI will do everything else for you. And that is the beauty of it. So in terms of data, right, even if you're doing this manually, you would need all that stuff. You will need the name of the companies, you will need the email addresses where you want to reach out, and you would need their website to kind of research. So it's not like, oh my God, I need to spend a lot of time collecting data, which is also a lot of problem for other AI use cases. There is no data problem here. What it is that you connect to the agentic AI and you connect to a Gmail account, and with one click, you're able to do this in seconds. So this is where we want to go into. I kind of talked a lot about this kind of a new logo that you see, which is symbol for the agentic AI. So I want to little bit go into introduction of what these agents are and what do they actually mean. And I want to keep it very, very simple and basic. So imagine you are planning a party in your house, right? So to plan a party, you need to pick a date, you need to send invites, you need to come up with how much count it is, and then you have to kind of prepare a meal, plan a meal, at least what you want to keep as their recipe based on if they are vegan, non-vegan, and so on, right? So right from the time of collecting the people, the guest email IDs, to tracking who's coming, who's not coming, and then managing the menu and the place based on that, and then sending reminders to these guests who RSVP. It is a lot of work. But what if you have one agent or one assistant that does everything for you? So you don't have to worry how many guests said yes, how many are vegan, non-vegan. It plans the whole thing for you end to end with a very simple command saying, hey, 20 guests, plan this event for me. These are the 20 people. and this assistant reach out to them, get the data, what they need, what they like, what they don't like, prepare a menu, send them reminder, and do everything for you. So this is like what agents do. And this is kind of where great analogy what agents can do for you. It can be your personal assistant who will not only like automate a workflow, but they are who would do a lot more than just automating a workflow. So what do these agents do? So these agents they are proactive, they are very goal oriented, they are adaptable, and they are autonomous. So let me go a little bit break down what these terms means, because they are really good terms, and we can feel very confusing about what these agents do. But let's talk about each one of them. So think about it. So an agentic AI is, these agents are very proactive. So think about an example where you go to your favorite barista, where you drink that coffee or you love your favorite latte, and as soon as you walk in the barista, the person who makes the coffee exactly what coffee you want, what flavor you want, prepares the coffee and keep it ready for you. So it's a very proactive approach that you didn't have to even give an order or say a word, but just by you entering the coffee place, your order is ready. So that's kind of a very proactive way of working. So these agents they can initiate action, and they can, in addition to responses, they can also initiate the next action that would help to solve your problem. Adaptable is something that they can learn. These agents can learn from their past, and they can adjust the feedback based on their learning. One of the example I can think about is in our real world is like the GPS that we use. So sometimes if there is a lot of traffic jam, the GPS reroutes and tells you, okay, if you take this route, it's going to be 5 minutes faster. And sometimes if you take a wrong turn, it kind of automatically adjusts the directions for you. So that is being an adaptable, that is what it means to being adaptable. So agent can actually learn, and it can adjust based on the feedback it has got. Agents are also very goal oriented. They can understand what is the context, and they can take steps to achieve that objective. In the real world, what it would look like would be, think about having a chef. So basically, like if you tell your chef, come up with a personalized meal, this chef can actually pick up the right recipe, pick up the right ingredients, and kind of come up with the whole menu instead of you telling the chef step by step, do this, do this, do this, go to this shop, bring this, with your dietary instruction. But with one command, giving a chef a goal that create a personalized email, personalized food for Neha, it can come up with all the different aspects that is needed to prepare a meal, picking the right recipe, picking the right like the ingredients, coming up with the whole menu, and then along with the dessert, so coming up with a full menu for that particular meal. So that's kind of example of goal oriented. I'm trying to break it down so it doesn't feel like it is really very complicated. And autonomous is something like these agents can make decision on its own to reach the goal. So one of the example I can think is like your most trusted teammate, whom you can say, hey, can you complete this work, and it will be done, and you don't have to do constant check in with this teammate because you trust that this person knows how to do it and will do it. So those are like the amazing, I would say, potential these agents exist. They have that amazing potential that we can use in our daily life when we are applying these agents to our workflow, and we can make not only our process efficient, time saving, but also intelligent and personalized. So this is where I wanted to kind of give you a picture about, it's just not creating something personalized, but agentic AI goes far more than personalization. It can do all of these things as I shared. So in a normal workflow, you have an instruction, and then you have a list of things you want to do. And generally, you go step by step in an automation, and it kind of produces a result based on the instructions you have provided. Agentic AI changes this game completely. So basically, under the agentic AI, it's once you have an input, and we call it a prompt, which we will talk, and I'll show you what prompt is in few minutes when we do the demo. Based on the prompt that you provide them, It does the thinking, it does some research, it sets its own goals, and it takes action, and it provides a response. So you're not giving a linear set of instruction to this agent. It is able to figure it out by themselves by the kind of prompts you give. And think about prompts are more like guidelines or some kind of guidance that you want to give it to, like things you want, things you don't want. So going back on my previous example, if I have a chef and if I have an agent in this world, maybe I would want to tell chef, hey chef, prepare a personalized meal for me, but make sure you don't go more than $1,000 for this meal, or you keep it to a limit, or make sure you don't go to Whole Foods or expensive grocery stores to buy things. So I can give some kind of guidance for the prompt to behave the way or to behave more effectively. And the better the prompt is, the better this agent will work. And Swapnil briefly mentioned when we took a poll and we asked, hey, is AI always correct? And I saw the poll said around 80 to 90% said that no, AI can make mistakes. And you're right. So the best way to to avoid those mistakes is to write better prompts. And we're not going to go very much in depth in the prompts, but we will have a master class hopefully soon. Abhinav is planning to get into that. How do you write better prompts to create more effective AI models? So that might be in a different class. But efficient, like at a very high level, these prompts are like the guidances that you could provide to your model so that they can work accordingly. And if you have certain preferences that you would want to be very vocal about it, you can put that in that prompt. Very nice language. It's not technical language. It's a very non-technical language as we are talking to each other. It's as simple as that. So without further ado, let's get into the demo. I think that's kind of the main part of this. So there are many different agentic AI platforms that are available. Currently, for this demo, we are going to be using make.com. Anmol, the team members did a lot of research into figuring it out, which is the best AI tool for our demo purpose, and they selected make.com. And I also personally really liked it as I started using it. It's very simple. It's a visual automation tool. You all can actually go and create an account, and it is free. So I think after certain more capabilities, it asks for money, but initially it is free. So I would really encourage you to go to make.com, sign in, get used to the platform. And what it does is that it's a no code platform. So it has different workflows. It can connect to different agents, and it is visual. And it's a very easy way to put the data and take out the data. So for today's demo, we will use make.com. So we'll walk through that. And it has Agentic AI already enabled in it. So you can update your scenarios based on that. And make.com has a lot of efficient use cases. It can be definitely used for marketing. That's why we are using it today. But other than that, it can use for customer support use cases, for your ticketing, and for you to get connected to your Slack. So you can, as your tickets come in, you can get the message faster. And it can use for a lot of especially personalization of emails. So that's kind of what make.com is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to make.com, and hopefully you guys can see my screen. I switched over to make.com. Once you log into make.com, this is what you will see, right? And quickly I will show you. You can go to scenarios and you can click here, create a new scenario. And what happens is that it gives you a plus sign. So you have so many different kinds of tools that you can create a structure. It even has Instagram for business, and it has a Slack connection. It has WhatsApp. It has Perplexity, HubSpot. I know HubSpot is used for a lot of data stuff. LinkedIn, which was not there before, but they just added it. So you can see there's so many different kind of connections you can do. So if your data is, for example, in Google Sheet, which is where our data is, you can click on it. And for this, I'm just going to do add a new row. And then what happens in this, you can connect, for example, this Google Sheet, it will say add another module. You can connect it to your OpenAI or this agents. So basically, it is as easy as clicking on plus sign and connecting to this and message assistant. And then what you do is you have to fill up some of these values. And this is where you will add a prompt message and save it. Right now, we're not doing it because I'll show you how we are building this. So basically your Google, if your raw data is Google Sheet, it can go to your OpenAI chat GPT, and then you can connect this, for example, to email. So this is kind of how easy it is. It is so visual that you understand very clearly how your data is going. And this is the logo that you see, OpenAI. This is an agent, and this is where the magic is happening. So input, agent, and then output. For this workflow, what we have done is discard it. We actually already created a template, and honestly, you don't have to worry about this long template. We in IK we have set by set instructions for you on how to create this. So in case you want to know more about and use make.com after this meeting and then try by yourself, you can actually ask us. I think Anmol or Abhinav will share how to receive these instructions after this demo. But essentially what we are doing here is that we have a raw data, and I will quickly share with you how my raw data looks like. So I have this file, raw data Excel I created. What it has all the names of the details of the company. Sorry, I'm just going back and forth. So it has what this company details about this company, and then it has this website about that company information. There's some other raw data also available here. We kind of try to figure out what this company does and everything, but what is more important is kind of the name of the company, some details that you will pull it out, but most important is this website. So we want to give the information to our agent, and the information we want to give about this company is the website, and we want that this agent should look at the website and figure it out how can it create a personalization message through using this website and the prompts that we have provided. And then I have put my email address here. This is where the email would go. We are using that. And then this is subject in email body just for our demo purpose. You could see what subject it is creating and what email it is creating. But ultimately, we would want to receive an email. So currently, I have used my email address that it would send, the agent will work, and then it would send the email with a subject line and an email body. If you want to receive this email through the demo, please feel free to send it through the chat, and I can update this email so that you can also receive the personalized email. Totally up to you. But right now for demo, I put my name, but this should be the audience or the company that you would want the email to go to. So this is what my raw file looks like. And I'm going to go back to make.com. And what I'm doing here is I have component of Google Sheet, and I've connected this Google connection. I have connected this to my drive. I've given it to my spreadsheet ID, what is my sheet name, which was short and raw. So what I'm doing is that, I know George gave me one. Let me take this quit, and I will put it for the second one so you can receive it here. Yeah, so I'll go back here and kind of explain the flow and how do you fill this sheet. Honestly, it is pretty intuitive. It is like you want to make sure that your data is getting picked up from the right sheet. Sheet name, short and raw, that was the name. I'm giving all the column range. So this is my Google Sheet, whichever sheet I want to pull out the data from. Tools is something you don't want to touch it, just keep it as it is. You would see an HTTP here. And what this HTTP is doing is that basically we want to use the website information of that particular company to create personalization. So we have to get the information from the website. So this is where this component is basically making a request to this website. And in the URL, I've added this row 14, which is the raw file number there. And what it does is that it will parse that data, because we do want to pull out some of the data from the website, and then it will use that data. We'll give this data to agent to make the right subject line and email. So basically what it is doing here is like you have a Google Sheet, you are pulling up the data from the Google Sheet. That's your input. Specifically because we are using website, you can use anything else. You can also use LinkedIn or other websites information, but we are pulling up company website. So it is taking the website detail and it is parsing that data. It's just pulling out data from the website. And there now we have, now we have this Google, this router, and what it does is that basically it is pulling up, it connects to different agents. So we basically have an agent for a subject and we have an agent for email body. And the way we did this is that once you, router is just a connection tool, it doesn't have anything, but subject is where all the things are happening. So it is where we are connecting to Open API, and this is where we are writing the prompt. So currently the model we are choosing is GPT, but there are other models you are free to use and test with other models. And if you go down, you will see this is what is showing what this model or what this agent do. And then if we keep going down, oops, sorry. Okay. And then if we keep going down, it would have these guidelines. So for the subject line, this is how the prompt looks like. Now, this is my prompt. So what we are saying here is that, hey, I want to create a very nice, catchy subject line. So please make sure it is collaborated, it is smart. Want to avoid some buzzwords because sometimes people see these buzzwords in the subject and they kind of delete it without looking at the content. So we want to avoid it. We want to keep the subject line short. So we can say it is under 12 words. You can pick how much you want to, how long you want or how short you want. But these are just like the guidelines we are giving to this agent so that it works according to the way we want. You can write these prompts. It's up to you. You don't have to be more specific, but the more specific you are or the more you can write your requirements, I would say, the better the agent works. So, but these are all written in very not natural language. So there is no code here. And then the subject will be put in the Google Sheet, which is where I will show you how it runs. And then we have another agent for email body, and it's the same kind of agent. What it does is that we have written some kind of guidelines, or I will say prompts, messages for how the email body should look like. So here we have put up, okay, maximum 500. It should not be more than that. Make it feel like human, like don't make it like very AI kind of written. So you can put all these things that you would want. Like we also put avoid generic compliments, like don't say great work, nice website. Again, it looks pretty much like not very personalized. So you can give this kind of all of these information. Another thing we also did is that we said go through the information of the website here. So we are specifically asking it to go to a website. And that's the reason we were parsing the data from the website. So it can take all that information, it can take all my prompts or what I want to do, and then it can come up with a email message that should go to a Gmail, and then ultimately it should send it to an email address. So I'm going to run this. Hopefully there are no errors here, and you can look how fast it is now running. And also you would see that it started populating subject lines here. So this was a biotech company, a cellular agriculture company. So it created a subject line, accelerate your biosynthesis pipeline to reach more enterprise client. And then it created an email body kind of saying, hey, I loved your innovative approach to addressing humankind's challenges through precision fermentation and biosynthesis. So this is where it's pulling up information from the website, and then it is giving 3 key points that are kind of important. And then it's kind of saying, hey, I'm here to help crafting engaging content and strategy that aligns with your mission, looking forward to potential collaboration. So it picked up the information, what is there in the website, and then it kind of pulled up these 3 points that are their goals or what they want to accomplish. And then using this to say that, hey, I'm here to help you out. And then this, you can put whatever you want. This is kind of up to you, the hard coded. And then let me see if I got an email on my email box. Oops, I got a lot of emails because my name is there, but this is the first one that came. So this is how the final email would look like, sent to the CB Therapeutics team. I am curious to know if I know I added George, your email also. I'm curious to know if you also received an email. You can probably say yes or no. So it should be for Blue Cargo, and this should be the email you have got. Loved your work on automating freight audit. So this is a logistic company. It's a cargo company, and the subject it created is boost Blue Cargo's B2B pipeline and credibility with strategic outreach. And this is where it is giving them data, which is so great, right? Like it has worked really hard to pull up the data, improving customer awareness of your 99% invoice automation, highlighting your success stories to attract new clients, create engaging content around 6% freight serving achievement. So, and then it has created for all the other ones that you can see. This one is for Jasper, it is created. I think this one is a retail company. Yeah, this is a B2B retail company, Spate. So it has created an email on a retail. So it kind of talks about Spate. Spate uses about 20 billion online research signals and TikTok data. So it again went to the website, pulled out some information, and then it came up with this like these three key points that they would be interested, and then kind of ending up with let's connect. And this is all happening due to a prompt, right? We wanted to keep it not very long, under 500, but if you change the prompt, it will change the email body also. Let me see if I got an email. This is for Spate. Yeah. So it has sent me an email about Spate. Basically, what we did is that just as a recap, we triggered a workflow. So the information was fetched from the Google Sheet. We got the information from the website URL, which is where get info worked. And then this agent, we used GPT 4.0. You can actually pick any model you would like. And this agent kind of worked behind the scene to basically come up with, based on the prompt we gave, come up with the output. And it does use OpenAI, so you have to connect or have an OpenAI connection to run this. And then once it, based on the prompts, it came up with a formatted output, and then it sent an email, which is what was the last spot to through Gmail. So if you would want to know like step-by-step instruction of what we did today, you can actually fill this Google form link, and then we'll have more AMA sessions too, so you can get more information about the instruction. So just key takeaways for this session. We learned about how you can use Agentic AI to create personalized emails. You can see how you can write emails faster using the AI automation workflow we showed in make.com. We also did not do any coding here, so we could describe the tasks, and then it did it. That agent actually did its work, and we were able to get the emails and the subject lines pretty fast. And then in terms of really innovation, there are many ways you can outreach your audience. I think Swapnil mentioned one of the ways, also through video and images. An overall goal for us was, hey, what we thought would take 2 weeks, we could run that flow for at least 100 emails in seconds. So that was really the key takeaway for this session. And I really hope that you can fill up the Google form, you can get more information. And the best thing is that as you try more on these no-code platform, you will become more equipped on different ways of making it better. Like every time I do something, I still learn something new. And that is really an amazing part of being in this world of AI.
If you're looking for a structured step-by-step guide to our masterclass, simply fill out the Google form and our team will connect with you directly. And if you're interested in becoming part of a growing, like-minded community, you're welcome to join our official Discord server. You'll find all the relevant links in the description below.